Hello, everyone. Welcome to this happy place, which is episode 32 of Theme Park Workshop. My name is Adam Johnson, and I'm joined today here by.
Hi, everybody. It's Bella.
Yep, it's just me and Bella today. Kelly had something come up. She's sick, actually. So, happy thoughts that way.
Good vibes, good vibes.
Good vibes.
Sending the good vibes.
The prayers, the chicken noodle soup, whatever you got.
I really hate chicken noodle soup. Just to mention it, I don't like soup.
Well, that would definitely be that's a significant part of chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, the only exception is tomato soup, which doesn't really make sense because I hate tomatoes. But tomato soup.
Interesting. See, tomato soup is the tomato thing. I'm like, if we don't have to have this, then what? So I'm not going to be the one getting the grilled cheese and tomato soup at Mythos.
The grilled cheese and tomato soup at Epcot is during Festival of the Arts, but the grilled cheese and tomato soup at Woody's Lunchbox, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Lunchbox, yeah.
That is the greatest thing in Disney parks. Like, I'm not even joking. It is like it came straight from the heavens into the parks. Like, if you haven't had it, please do yourself a favor and go. I might go get one tomorrow.
Oh,
because I'm going to Hollywood Studios tomorrow, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that the chicken tenders over at Backlot Express have some fighting words for that. So
they can fight.
Yeah, let them fight, like that Godzilla Cross Kong movie. Anyway, love that title. But Kelly, if you're listening, whether you like soup or not, we hope you get it. Yeah, but since it's just Bella and I here today, I thought it'd be fun if we talked about theme park photography. That's kind of like Bella's bread. That's her butter, too. If you don't follow Bella's theme park photography account over on Instagram, go check out Flynn Rider's Nose.
Please. I'm so close to 4K.
4K?
Wow. I know. I'm at like 3.905. Not really that close, but it's close.
It's much bigger than we've got over here on Theme Park Workshop. So, I'm like in the presence of a celebrity. So,
it's me. Yeah. I've actually been called that a few times. I've met a couple people that have come up to me at different theme parks. Like, it happened at SeaWorld. My friend Taylor. Hi, Taylor, if you're listening. I know Kelly knows her. I just saw her at the Taylor Swift concert. Anyway, back to the subject. We met at SeaWorld one time, and she knew me, but I didn't know her. And I was like, what? And then she messaged me. She was like, oh my God, it feels like I just met a celebrity. I followed you for so long. And I was like, oh my God. That's happened. One of my really good friends, Nick, also followed me for a really long time before we became friends. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, all that and more on Theme Park Workshop.
Yeah. Let's get all of my followers to come listen to Theme Park Workshop. I want it to happen.
Yeah.
It needs to happen.
Thank you if you're coming from Bella's account, all her friends and followers and stuff.
Come follow.
But I guess the first question I have for you as a theme park photographer, how'd you get into it? I would imagine you just kind of stumbled into it and you're like, this is fun, why not? But I mean, I don't know if it's something you set out to do.
So this September will be 6 years. So I was 15, now I'm 21, so I've been here for a while. And I always saw people on Instagram when I was leading up to getting an annual pass. I was just following all these Disney influencers that I'm now friends with, which is fun. And I was just like, oh my God, I want to do that. This is so cool. And I've always had an interest in photography because my dad, he's always had cameras around and I've always messed with them. And my second trip to Disney, I was like, Dad, can I take the camera? And he's like, yeah. And then I left the lens cap at home. So I walked around Epcot all day holding the lens. And I kind of just did it. My first picture I took was of Aurora in the France Pavilion. I like to go back there on the anniversary and just take a little picture with my I'm celebrating button that I get every year. Just to it's fun. But I kind of just did it because I don't know. Like, I think I explained it. Like, I saw other people doing it and I already had the interest in photography and I was like, why not? And then I just kept doing it and I started figuring things out and upgrading my gear. And here we are. I've branched over to Sesame Street. I've done some Universal, but I'm slowly finding my way back to just Disney. And I love it a lot because it's just fun.
Yeah.
That was a long-winded answer to that question.
No, it's great. It's great. So you said like over time you would get gear and you keep on doing it. Did you find like I guess what led you to get like more gear? Is it just like I'm doing this more, I need to invest more into it, or were you like seeing things you didn't like about your pictures and you thought maybe that could help?
Kind of a mix of both. I mean, everyone starts somewhere. So I had my first camera that I used was a Canon Rebel SL1, which is one of like it's still one of like the little starter ones, and I used it actually up until last year. So her name was Cam the camera. She was good to me. But I just like saw these high quality pictures, and I just wanted to improve, and I wanted to do photography for real outside of Disney as well. So I was like, well, if I want to like actually do things, like I need to get a 50 millimeter or a 35 millimeter. And the reason I got my 50 millimeter actually was I was going to Mickey's Not So Scary and I was terrified on my mind to shoot it because I really wanted to do the parade and I really wanted to do Hocus Pocus. And I was like, okay, well, if I get it, I need to do parade pictures, I need to get lens with a low aperture. So that was the first actual lens I got. I still have it. It's going strong. I need to upgrade, but it's my first one. I love it. I just wanted to see how different things could better the quality. I could try different things, experiment with different things. And here we are. I have a trillion lenses. I've been through, I'm on my third camera now. I think I'm going to stick with this one for a long time. I
What's
love
this
it.
camera's name?
I haven't named it actually. It's a
around.
Canon 6D, and I've always wanted a 6D. I've always wanted it, and I found it at a local camera store near me. So I got it, but I don't have a name. So if anyone listening has any name suggestions, I want a C name. I really wanted to name it Harry the Camera, but it doesn't really, like Cam the Camera, like
Yeah, and Harry the Shark kind of works a little
Harry
bit
the
better.
Shark. Yeah, yeah. So I need like a fun C name for my camera, or one that starts with a D for 6D. Dairy.
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 That way, when it acts up, you can be like dairy, more like derriere.
That was so bad, Adam, but I really appreciate the effort there.
That's just oh, you meant more like dairy, like maybe
like Harry with a D.
Oh.
No, not that deep. It's literally just Harry with a D.
Harry.
You love Derry though. Derry, yeah. Ohio. All horror movies happen in Ohio.
Maine. Yeah, Stephen King, all of it's in Maine. Except for like 2 out of.
I'm gonna call it Pennywise the Camera.
Pennywise the Camera.
But seriously, if any of you listening have name suggestions, I'm open.
Yeah.
Any and all. And then you have the honor of naming my camera, so.
There you go. But I guess going back to like that first Not So Scary. So when you're doing Not So Scary, how much time into this was it when you had kind of faced that big first
year.
A year.
It was that because I got my pass in August of 2017. And so I did it in 2018. Gotcha. And it was crazy because I was there all day. I think I ended up taking 5,000 pictures, which isn't a lot thinking about it now because I take a lot of pictures now, but I think I took like 5,000 something and I saved 1,200.
That's still
I edited 1,200 pictures 12 hours straight. That's all I did. My eyes were
See, whereas me in comparison with my Samsung Galaxy whatever it is, that's what I use to take pictures. I'm no 15.
And you're slaying it. You're slaying it.
But like I'll go in and I'll be like, that's a good shot, and I'll see like what because you can adjust like
Mm-hmm.
the exposure on the touch screen, and like what looks cool to me, what's going to turn up better, and then I
Mm-hmm.
just snap, and then I move on. About I don't edit them. Like I'll
Yeah,
just I'll pass
I
it on to
wish.
you guys to do whatever with for the socials, you and Kelly, or back in the day, like when it's just Jonathan and I. It's like, hey, that's a good picture, or like I took a video of Illuminations, like it's last
Mm.
week that it was happening, and no
Oh,
thought went into it. We just kind of showed up, and I said, "This is my first time and last time seeing this. I'm going to take a video." And then like the fireworks happened behind us, and I went, "Whoa, that's happening!" I wasn't expecting that. But like I just like snap, and I maybe take like 80, on
period.
active day, but I'm like not putting in like nearly any of that work, and I just like I'm thinking so like you spent that morning, were you just kind of like, okay, this is like a good vantage point, or you're trying to find the best vantage point, or were you using like the daytime parade to
Well, at that point, I kind of had like a good sense of what I was doing for Friendship Fair and for FOF, Festival of Fantasy, and for like character pictures. So I kind of just went about that. I saw a couple Murphs, just hung around, and then I was with friends, and they kind of helped show me in the right direction settings wise. Because at that point, I also wasn't using manual. I was using portrait mode because up until last year I was not using manual. Scandal. I was terrified of it because I can never do it right because no one took the time to show me how to do it because it's not complicated. It's just opposites. Like to get lighter, you go lower, and to get darker, you go higher. And
oh
it would always mess with my brain, so I couldn't get it. My friend Jules, they showed me how to do it, and like a whole new world opened up. But anyway, they kind of showed me what to do, and I kind of just did it, and I didn't hate them. They weren't that bad, specifically because someone told me, they were like, "Oh, it's your first time shooting it. You're probably not going to get any good pictures because you haven't done it before." And then I went and got like better pictures than them, in my opinion. So that makes me sound mean, but I was like, don't underestimate me. I may
yeah
be 16 years old, but I know what I'm doing for the most part. Well, I didn't really know what I was doing, but you get the
yeah, I mean, and with you and Cammy, you can never
point.
fail.
No, exactly. We were the dream team.
Yeah. Well, I guess like that kind of brings me into like another thing I'm curious about, because I mean I was just saying, like I snap a picture because I think it looks good and I don't do anything with it. I'll post it on Instagram and hope for the best. Or I'll send it on to someone
Same,
else, see if they think it's for the best. Um,
same.
so like I'm like completely disconnected from like that community. I might follow an account because I like how the pictures come out. So like for you, like coming into it at first, like what was the community like as a newbie? Or were you just kind of like, oh, people who I look up to? Or how did that transition?
When I first started, there honestly really wasn't that much of a community. It was my friend Willie the artist on Instagram. He's phenomenal. It was him and like a couple other people that did it. Like it really wasn't that big. And it was fine. I was chilling. I didn't know any of these people in person yet. So I was just kind of minding my own business, doing my thing. And then as like time went on, more and more people started to show up, and it just got to like a weird place, I feel. Like in 2018, 2019, like it felt really toxic and like very like everyone comparing, like I'm better than you and you suck because you don't use this equipment and I'm using the multi like thousands and thousands of dollar worth of equipment, and like you're just using like your little camera. And it just, I did not take pictures in Disney because of that up until I think 2021. I started again. Like I would like if I saw my friends and stuff, but I didn't really feel comfortable doing it just because of the community, and like everyone was doing it and like people weren't really nice about it. So I didn't really feel comfortable doing it. And then 2021, like when it was just cavalcades and stuff, I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna do this again. And I kind of did it. And then I think it's a much better place now. There's definitely some newbies, and it's really fun like watching like all the new people like do it, and like watching them like figure stuff out through their pictures because I was in that place, so it's like fun. I'll like comment, I'm like, you're doing such a good job. Like I love it. I think it's a much better place now than it was. But I don't know. I don't live in Orlando anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not really hanging around there much. So I'm just trying to vibe. You get it?
It's a great place to be at.
Yeah. I'm having fun again. I feel comfortable taking pictures there again. That's all I care about.
So when these folks are being like toxic in the community and having like superiority complexes, is that like mostly an online thing, or like do some of y'all meet up and then they start kind of
It
like,
would
puffing
be
out their chests and being all like peacocky?
it would be like a group of people all in a row, and they'd all have like their big cameras, and it would be me and my little tiny DSLR, and I've been like getting weird looks, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then it'd be like a likes contest, and like,
Oh yeah.
I have this many followers and I got this many likes. And I'm like, I don't care. I've never been one to care about likes. I've never been one to care about numbers. I think it's cool when I pass a certain milestone or I get a certain amount of likes, but I don't really care. And like, it was just very much like a popularity contest. And I'm glad it's not like that anymore.
What do you think caused that shift? Do you think it was like having like pretty much a year like without the parks? Do you think some people the toxicity phased out, or things...
I think a lot of people just don't really do it much anymore. They're more low key about it. There are some fantastic people though that I love, like a Frying Pan Prince. I adore him. He's always here. But I definitely think COVID like calmed it down, thankfully. Because like there was nothing to do. Everyone was sharing old pictures. No one was like getting new content.
When there are definitely factors that are burning people out, or kind of you're not doing the thing, so you're not really as much into the thing. Why did you stick around?
I loved it. I still love it. I love my favorite part is sharing pictures and like sending them out to people and them getting excited about it, and then them telling me like it's my phone wallpaper, or like them posting it. Like I love it. It's my favorite part. And then I went over to Sesame at SeaWorld, and no one really went over there much. Like a couple people did, but like they never really got pictures. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And just seeing everyone happy to have pictures I just love it.
It sounds like, one, it's just fun to take pictures
Mm-hmm.
and to grow in that art. But number two, it's the other side of it, which is showing people themselves and character and doing what they love, seeing that react.
And like creating memories, like especially on debut days and like last days, like it's fun to have like that, like be able to capture something so special to someone and have it forever so they can remember it. I think it's like I keep all my pictures. I have like 10,000 Disney pictures and like a couple thousand SeaWorld pictures, and I love just like looking back at them because like I can remember that exact day, that exact time, like what everyone was doing. It's just memories. I love the memories.
Yeah. I know there's like kind of you're talking about how there's like kind of a community. Like there's definitely like people who are in a community together, and like you might not be physically there because you're no longer in Orlando. You're not in the middle of all the parks. But I guess like what are some like positive personal experiences that you've had like because of it? Like are there like friends you've made because you're all like taking pictures, or do you see that more
for
with
sure.
photogs, or do you see photographers? or do you see that more with like entertainment and folks like that?
I've definitely met a lot of other photographers. Like I've already mentioned Willie and Frying Pan Prince. His name is Iggy. Love them. I'm like, obviously, like, of course I forget every single person I've ever met.
Oh yeah.
My brain just went blank.
Right.
But I've definitely made friends with people. But there's this one time that I specifically remember about talking to another photographer. I was at Phantasmic with my friend, and she was asking me, we were sitting next to this girl who I know had just started doing photography, and she was asking me questions just about like how I shoot Fan and like what I do, because Phantasmic is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Really?
And yes, without hands down the hardest thing I've ever done, just because it's far away and it's dark and a lot of lights going at different times. But she's asking me how I do it, like what settings I do, like things like that. And like I mean I told her everything I did, like I gave her tips, she was showing me pictures, and it was really special to me because like I was in that spot, like asking for help but not knowing how to get it, and like just like wanting to do it. And then she posted on her story her like almost in tears because she's so happy with the pictures and she never thought she could do that. And I'm like sitting in my room watching her story, sobbing. Like, oh, it was like so full circle for me.
Yeah.
Because like I was that girl who like didn't get any help, like just wanted to take pictures, was doing it for fun, like, and then I want to cry. Like it made me really happy.
I love that story, like that whole full circle thing, but it's also like, I mean, you're still in touch with her, I'm guessing.
No.
No? Oh, okay. Well, that's
Which is fine. Like I still
yeah.
see her stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So like I know so you do it for fun and you do it and you pass on what you've learned and like the tips because you were in that position. But I mean, this is kind of like the elephant in the room is credit. Like it's
Ugh.
fun, but it's also nice to be recognized every once in a
Yeah. My favorite thing to talk about.
while. I'll just leave that open ended. Go off.
Credit your photographers, please, for the love of God. Credit is a tricky thing because some people will just automatically do it because like they've been around for a while, like, or they just know to do it because they didn't take the picture. But some people I've had to talk about it a lot. I feel like I haven't gotten like obviously I haven't gotten aggressive about it, but I feel like I've become more and more like credit me. Because it's just the nice thing to do. You didn't take the picture. If Taylor Swift and Harry Styles can credit their photographers for every single show, why can't people?
It's
Like,
true. Yeah.
did you go out of body and take the picture yourself? No. Like, I don't
Taylor
know.
just
Like
goes limp for
sometimes,
a second, grabs a camera, and then comes back.
no, exactly. Like, obviously, sometimes people forget, and that's totally fine. Like, I've forgotten to credit people for pictures of me.
Yeah.
But like if it's like an again and again thing, my patience gets a little thin. And I'm like, hey, so can you please just tag me? But most of the time, like if I just remind someone, they're pretty good about it, which is nice. I haven't really had a credit problem in a while. So I think people get it now.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can like see the devil's advocate thing to an extent. Like thumbnails, for instance. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing the thumbnails on the channel, and I'll try to use pictures that I've taken or that you and Kelly take. Like try to do something within the wheelhouse or that's art, from like Universal, for example, like use a first picture of XYZ. But sometimes, like when you're at the 11th hour, it's like I'm not seeing
Yeah.
anything. Maybe I'm watching like a video by like the Diz of like Deadman's Pier. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll just like screenshot that. Now that I say that, it's like, no, obviously, like credit them in the description. That's Rhino, that's Craig's, that's their video. Credit them, credit the organization. But sometimes you see like a picture from an attraction 25 years ago, and you just copy image on Google Images, and you go and you post or whatever. I mean, just did that the other day. I grabbed a picture from the wiki, and I forgot to credit the wiki for HHN. Or the Universal Parks, whatever it was. So like I can see like that aspect, how like people forget. But I think the instances you're talking about aren't like, hey, they used my picture in the thumbnail, which is still an issue. But it's more like this person, I took a picture of them. They found it from me because you got a Google Drive. You're not just like
I just transferred over to Flickr.
Flickr.
I've been doing that, yeah.
But you've got like a base where all is housed. You share some pictures, you promote yourself because that's part of the fun is to share your work publicly. But I think you're talking more about like those instances where this person got it from me and then didn't even forget, just kind of like left it out.
Yeah. Like there have been times where I post like pictures I'm proud of on Twitter and people will save it and put it on their Instagram stories without anything, and I'm like, okay, well if people keep doing this, I'm not going to share pictures anymore on Twitter. I'm going to slap a giant watermark on it like I used to because I thought that's what you had to do, and I hated it because it added an extra hour to editing time because I had to put it on all of them.
And that's one thing I don't ever think about is like how much editing goes into it. How long does it take to edit like a picture usually? Like what are things that lay people like me or people who aren't in that zone, like what are something that, or what are things about the editing process that we really don't think about?
Well, I use presets, which helps a lot. So it's just I got them on Etsy. Like the one I use, I got on Etsy years ago. And it just like has all your base settings. And sometimes with outside pictures, like during the day, like I really don't need to do much tweaking. I'll like move around the exposure, move around the shadows, and like I like it. Move the saturation a little bit. But what really gets me is like night pictures, like a Phantasmic, or the couple times I shot Horror Nights. Like I've spent 25 minutes on a picture, one, and I have to do it for like hundreds. So that's when it takes me a couple days. I can usually crank out like a show, like one showing of Murph, 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm really quick because I just like to get it done. I don't like to keep it sitting for days.
Yeah.
So that's quick, but like if it's Phantasmic, which I'm about to do tomorrow, that takes me a little bit longer. I'll let those sit for like a day or two. Cause it's draining. It's mentally draining. But I love it. I love doing it, but like staring at the same picture for a while and like editing, doing the same thing, it's very mundane.
Yeah.
And it gets repetitive. And you have to be careful and like actually watch what you're doing. You can't really zone out and do it. Because you don't want it to like look crazy. Sometimes I've uploaded pictures and I hated them. I take them down and I re-edit the whole thing. Which is fun. But it really just varies. Yeah, it just depends. But I have spent like 30 minutes on a picture.
Do you ever like start overthinking it? Like, do you start doubting yourself where like you'll get to a point and when you look back at it in retrospect, it's like, no, that was fine the first time. And then
yes. 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 In Lightroom, it's really nice because you can save versions of pictures. So if I'm not certain about something, I'll like save a version of it and I'll do it a couple times and then I'll send it to people. I'm like, okay, pick. And like it's like slight things that are off that like people like you won't really tell.
Yeah.
But it's like that the saturation is different in this corner and the shadows. So it just depends. I kind of just have to tell myself like I've been doing this for 6 years now.
Yeah.
I kind of know what I'm doing at this point, and I kind of just have to trust myself. And if I like them, I like them. That's like
yeah.
like you can't really do much about it. Like you can't like I did what I could to fix it if like the lighting's not good or and then I just move on. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I have thousands of pictures online. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to call this a speed round, but I'm curious, just like highs and lows of like, what's the? I know you've talked about Phantasmic, but what is like the hardest thing you've ever had to shoot?
If it Phantasmic and then Nightmare Fuel during
Oh.
Horror Nights, that oh my god, it's really not as hard as Phantasmic. I don't think. I just put a lot of pressure on Phantasmic for no reason. But Nightmare Fuel,
the show is your favorite show.
It is.
Yeah.
It is my favorite show. Nightmare Fuel with all the fire and the lights and the strobes and the dancing constantly. It's really and the people in the air and then the audience.
Yeah.
It's lots of red lighting. I hate editing red. What
is it about red?
It sucks because to combat blue, you can put green, a little bit of purple, but red, you're gonna be red. And if you try and do any color, it just kind of makes it look muddy. So it's my biggest enemy.
Gotcha.
Any pictures? And I have like 300 Nightmare Fuel pictures sitting in my Lightroom that I never edited because I would just cry. I hated doing it. I was like, they're just gonna sit here and I'm not gonna touch it. They're still there. Like, but any of the ones, my little hack, any of the ones that I didn't like, I just put in black and white.
Smart, actually. Smart.
Creates a little bit of drama, like drama in the photo, like different, you know. But it's just because I really don't want to edit the red.
Yeah.
I've been exposed.
No, it's all good. Well, I remember because I was thinking it was just gonna be the fire. I never thought about like the red. Because I remember I was standing with you when you're taking some Pumpkin Lord pictures.
Yeah.
And I just remember like looking through your little, I don't know if it's called a viewfinder, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it. And you have it on a certain thing, you get perfect for that one shot, and then the fire, he'd lift his arms like, I am
And the
the
thing went
pocket
white,
lord.
remember?
Yeah, and then the fire would go off, and I'm like, me knowing nothing, I'm like, hey Bella, what if you like put it like blindly did it, just like went all the way down, and so like maybe it would be good for the fire. It ended up
Yeah.
working for the
Yeah, it
most part,
did.
but I know like it would like your entire screen would be white because the exposure was so radical. So I imagine with like a show with a lot of movement and a lot of dancing and a lot of fire and red, the
Lots
red.
of red, because I don't mind the fire that much. Like I can make it look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple where I spent way too much time just specifically editing the fire to make it look cool. Like I don't mind it. It's just not my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I love Nightmare Fuel, so I'll do it again.
So what's like your favorite park? I'll start broad. What's your favorite park to shoot at?
Magic Kingdom.
What
There's
is it
so
about?
much stuff. I don't know. Probably that's because I don't know, actually. It's just fun. I like all the shows and the parades, and that's just what I've always done. That's kind of my comfort zone. That's when I can zone out and just take pictures because I have the shows memorized so much at this point that I can probably do it with my eyes closed. And still get the shots I want because it's just so like drilled into my brain
Yeah.
that I can just like look and be like, one, okay, got it.
So when you go in to do like a show, like are you thinking to yourself, all right, I want to do the castle show. I want to do, I forget what shows are there, but happily ever after. Like you want to do the daytime castle show, you do happily ever after. Are you thinking to yourself like when you're going to the parks, these are what I'm going to do, here's what I need, here's how to prepare, I'm going to preset my camera to this, or you just show up and you're like, hey, that might be fun to take, snap.
It's kind of like a mix of both. Because if I have like people I'm going to visit, I will just park at the castle and not move, which I love doing because then I can do all these different angles and get different things. But most of the time I'm just kind of vibing. I'm like, I'm gonna bring my camera and see what happens.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes I won't shoot something because I just want to watch. I've never shot Happily Ever After that. I'm way too scared.
I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, and I need like a tripod and really still hands, and I don't have really still hands. My hands are very shaky.
Yeah.
But I really want to, but I'm gonna leave it to all the people that do it because they slay.
Yeah. Yeah, or even those videographers like
Yes. Oh my gosh.
what's that one's name? It's kind of big in the community. He takes a lot of videos and vlogs.
Frying Pan Prince.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the fun videos of the characters.
Yeah.
And they're like slow-mo. They're like slow-mo with like popular songs over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's him.
Cool.
He kills it. I love him.
He slays.
He's coming here soon. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I
nice.
love him. I love him. I'm gonna send this to him.
You should.
When it's uploaded.
And then I guess for like my last photography question, what's your favorite, or I guess second to last, but what's your favorite thing to shoot at any park overall? Like you are hyped up because this is your favorite thing to do.
I really love doing the Sesame Parade at SeaWorld because it's really colorful, lots of dancing, lots of stuff going on, and it's big. And there's a show stop, so I can kind of do what I want, which is fun. But like, I love doing Friendship Fair. There's a lot going on there, lots of different characters. It's also big, and it's a classic. It's like I love doing Murph. Yeah. But also I love Fantasmic, even though I complain about shooting it. I really love doing Fantasmic.
Well, girl, like your Elsa picture, like I'm still
Thank
like
you.
on it. Like
that has not happened again. I've tried. It hasn't happened again.
Oh, no. I mean, like all your pictures of Fantasmic on that return show were great, but like that,
I was shocked. I was like, okay.
In my memory, I'm like, holy crap! She's like Angela Bassett. She did the thing.
Oh my god! I remember I tweeted those pictures. I was like, I did the thing.
Yeah.
Way before that happened.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still like really shook by those pictures because that Elsa unit specifically I've never been able to do it again.
Wow.
Because like I rented a lens for Phantasmic's Return. I rented a 200 millimeter. And then my friend bought it for me for Christmas. My friend Jordan Buster, our patron. She gave it to me for Christmas.
Shout out to our patrons. Jordan, Buster, Jonathan, Edward, and Lenny Kinoki, but especially Jordan Buster for this thing. Special shout out.
And she got that for me for Christmas, and I've used it, and I love that thing. It's the greatest thing ever. And it really makes it so much easier. But Elsa, that unit, and we're not friends. Like I can't get it to do it again, which is fine. I can have that one. Well, there are a couple. That like glorious photo set, and I'm content with that.
I mean,
I have to shoot it tomorrow though, and I'm like, because I've been focusing on Prince Eric.
Oh, gotcha.
But tomorrow I have to focus on Snow Prince, and I don't know it, so I have to like go and like memorize the choreography.
Oh, gotcha.
That's also a thing I do. If I'm shooting a show I've never done before, I will watch videos of it and plan out what shots I want in my head.
Oh, that's smart.
That's what I do for Trolley all the time. Like when I first saw Christmas Trolley, I watched a bunch of videos on it just to get an idea.
Yeah.
Of what I wanted in my head. And it works.
I never thought about that because I think with like shows and me, if I can help it, I want to like be surprised the first time I see it. Because I think I think over time, especially as I've been doing the theme park workshop videos and now the podcast, is very much like, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to try to enjoy it, kind of be more free about it. Like I have friends come and I'm like to the parks and they don't usually come. I said, you're going to lead the charge because I want to live the parks through your eyes, or I just want to kind of wander. So there's like that serendipitous aspect to it when I go. But like that's such a smart idea of like maybe like the Siren Show over at Hollow Scream Orlando, like watching that beforehand, so you know where to be because you're seeing what they're doing and you hope they do it again.
Yeah,
and all of that.
When
spontaneity, it's not very nice to photographers.
Yeah, well, if I don't want to like be spoiled on a show, or if it's like a new show, I'll watch the first one and then I'll go back and I'll shoot the next one, so on and so forth. But for Siren Song, I was not allowed to watch videos of it because my best friend was the guy victim in it. And he's like, you have to be surprised. So I think I ended up watching all of them. And then I shot the last couple. That's hard. Because there's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I was going to do it last year, but then I forgot. Because I did Monsters. Did I do Monsters? I did do Monster Stomp. Did I? I did. That was hard. Not as bad as Nightmare Fuel, though. Yeah, no, I totally get that about it, like killing spontaneity, but like
yeah, I mean, like even my last trip, you know, there's a spontaneous aspect to it, but I'm like, I want to see the Mardi Gras stuff. I want to get record of the Mardi Gras stuff.
Oh, I'm so sad I didn't go.
Yeah. But like trying to plan for that parade, they played the parade early, like 15 minutes early. They started it out because there is a giant thunderstorm on its way, and they're running that. Like I've never seen a parade move so fast in my life.
It's a big parade. They got they have a lot to get through.
Like 15 minutes, I feel like.
Dang.
Or like maybe it was.
Should have done that every night.
Maybe it wasn't 15 minutes, but like we showed up at 6:30 or so, and it ended at 6:45. But I don't know what time they started it because they started early, but I'm not sure how early.
It's such a long. I love it, but it's. And it's just that music on loop, and it's like, oh my god!
Right now, feet don't fail me now.
Oh my gosh, it's just, oh my gosh! If you know, you know.
You know. Yes. Yeah. I don't know if I can put it on here because copyright, but you know.
You get it.
You know the thing.
Yeah.
Know the thing. So, we're gonna what is it called? Dip our feet. We're gonna dip our feet in a little bit into some newsish things. But this is more open speculation at this point because there's not a rumor about it. No one said anything, but everyone's kind of like, what could this be? Could it be we're inviting some little monsters? If you don't understand, I hope I got the Little Monsters reference right. If
You
not,
did.
hopefully
You did.
you knew the rah rah ooh rah rah. But Lady Gaga, could Lady Gaga be coming to Halloween Horror Nights? Could she be
Lady Gaga.
And the reason, so for those of you who aren't on Twitter all the time like us, Universal Halloween Horror Nights Orlando responded to a old Lady Gaga tweet from like
That's making the
2012.
rounds. It's just a keyboard smash.
Yeah, yeah. And then respond with like, oh yeah, we know the feeling. Horror Nights did with like their own like 2-year-old video of nonsense.
It's an hour of static.
Oh yeah, that's what
it's so random. But I'm terrified.
Yes. And so on the one hand, it could be just Chad, the socials demon, is getting into like what's popular and stuff. Or it could be a very big hint that Lady Gaga could be coming. Bella, I know what you think, but I don't know the people at home know what you think. So what do you think? What are you thinking?
I need this more than I need oxygen. Like, I think it would be like the house of all time. And like just hearing all that like old iconic music and like the visual, oh my, like I want to cry thinking about it. Like I like, oh my gosh. And then like everyone's outfits, like people are gonna get so into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just went and saw her at Chromatica Ball in Miami, the infamous one where the rain cut the show, and the
lightning
outfits.
almost killed people. And...
Exactly. The outfits, like people take Lady Gaga seriously.
Yes.
And like I'm all for music and recording artists as houses. I think there should be one every year. I don't care if that's controversial. I love it. I think it would be absolutely incredible. I think like it's there's an old like famous video of this little kid singing Alejandro. He goes, "Everyone put your paws up." Like that would be me. Or I'm gonna like oh my gosh. That's really all I can say because I'm just so excited. I feel like I'm gonna explode.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, Adam?
So I think first off, I kind of alluded to it when I was introducing it. I think it was just them jumping on a socials trend.
Yeah.
There is evidence or potential rumored evidence that it's going to be a thing. Because in the February spec map that we talked about on our Patreon bonus episode, which it'll be up now. I don't even know if we got to this portion because we kind of called it early before we got through the entire map, just because so much has been up in the air. But in that initial map, there was an electric guitar with a lightning bolt through it. And everyone's like, well, that's stupid. You're saying there's going to be a music house. That could be anything. Could be absolutely anything. And then someone found a connection between that image and Lady Gaga because now they knew where to look.
Yeah.
So there is the potential for it to happen. I think it wasn't a confirmation. I don't think it was a hint. I think it was just a social trend. That said, I don't know the Lady Gaga lore as well as I should. I kind of appreciated her later in her career than during that first part. I think, now don't get me wrong, like Alejandro's a fun song. Paparazzi's a great song. Born This Way is an anthem. But like, I mean, Hold My Hand is part of my, from the Top Gun movie. That is an alarm.
So cry tonight, but don't you I didn't get to see her perform that song because of the rain.
Oh no, not nice.
She didn't even sing Rain on Me. Literally in my Snapchat memories, I have a video that said, oh my God, she's going to sing Rain on Me in the rain. That's going to be amazing. 2 minutes later, it's the picture of the Please Evacuate. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing.
But yeah, I'm familiar with Lady Gaga. I'm more familiar with Gaga than I was with The Weeknd when The Weeknd was being talked about last year. But I still don't know, like, I don't know her videos. I don't know the whole Little Monsters. I don't know that. So, but one thing I loved about last year, even though it wasn't my favorite house, The Weeknd was just such a big part of last year. And like, whenever I hear, Burning Light. Is it Burning Lights?
Blinding
Lights. Oh my gosh. It's just because that song hasn't come on lately, but like the other
I
song.
heard it today in the car.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I'm at Horror Nights.
The other after hour songs, and I'm not going to name them because I'm afraid I'm going to get the titles wrong, but those other songs, they'll come on like my Spotify, and like The Weeknd's coming up as like one of my favorite artists on Spotify just because I listen to him so much. When I hear it, I get nostalgic for HHN. So like if Lady Gaga is that for this year, I'm more than happy to like get into her music and
she is
the impact
just,
that it will have.
Yeah, she is just phenomenal, and I adore her. And I mean, she has such a massive catalog of iconic music. But yeah, definitely go through and like watch all of her older videos. If I get scared by someone in a meat dress, I will literally explode. Like, oh my god. Like, oh my god. I love it. I love it.
Do you think Gaga would serve better as a house or a scare zone?
Ooh.
Because I can see like the pros and cons. Like I can see the
Well,
house.
I feel
You
like
can tell a story through the music.
the scare zone might just be similar to Vanity Ball then.
Yeah.
In my mind, that's how I see.
But I feel like Gaga's music is probably more like it inspires a community more than like the Weeknd songs. Like you hear a Gaga song and like everyone's like the song means so much to them, and so you share that with other people. And I feel like the Weeknd is more like an isolated experience. I could be completely talking out my butt. I probably am. Correct me in the comments below. But like I don't know. I kind of get that impression more. Like there's a Gaga hive and like a Weeknd fans.
Yes.
So
I
could
think
see that
I'm more of a Gaga fan.
Yeah, I could see that personifying really well in his own, like Vanity Ball or like Crypt TV before they went crypto or something like that. Maybe not Crypt TV, probably more Vanity or Vamp. Vamp.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like if it's not this year, it'll happen at some point.
Yeah. Oh, you were talking about it all the way back in episode 4. I think I asked, hey guys, what's your like dream house? And you said this might be controversial, but I would love a Gaga house.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be amazing.
This is my Joker.
No, literally, because she's in Joker too.
That's true.
I think the house doesn't even have to be scary. Yeah. Like just blast Lady Gaga in a house. And I'm happy.
Yeah. Tent house, warehouse, or soundstage?
Soundstage. I think it'll probably go where the Weeknd went. Is that a soundstage? No, that's the
warehouse. It's the parade warehouse.
That's a warehouse. I could see it going in there.
I don't know.
And then they can leave the soundstage for Scream.
As they should. It can go where Michael.
It's gonna be. Exactly. It's going to be a massive house with all 6 movies.
Yes.
It's going to take you 20 minutes. Yeah.
And there's going to be a call out to you're going to have the Scream Resurrection. No, it's not Scream Resurrection. That was the 3rd season that had the old Ghostface mask.
I hate
season
that
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Mask. You'll have that off in the background. Maybe they'll have Drew Barrymore's.
I can't believe they wanted that show to be a house.
It was what was current at the time. Like Universal didn't want it. That's why it didn't happen. But
it's not good.
According to the storybook and amusement video, anyway. Great video if you haven't watched it.
I've watched that so many times.
Just wishing for what was.
Yeah. Anytime I think about it, I'm like, well, here we go again.
Watching that song from the Phineas and Ferb Act Your Age, like what might have been down. No.
I think I need that to happen so bad.
Yeah.
And now is the perfect time to do it with the success of Scream 6, but I could talk about Scream at Horror Nights forever. So
I know. I don't want to make this I do want to make it a Scream only episode of
Let's do it.
We should.
Once Kelly watches
Park presence, but we're like,
no.
Hey, episode 35, Scream.
Once Kelly watches all of them, we'll do it.
I know. She froze. She was like,
she's close.
She all in a day. Then she
watched 4.
I know, but maybe she's gonna watch 5 and 6 back to back. She needs to do it before it hits theaters.
4 it comes on digital next week.
Does it really?
Yeah.
It happens so fast.
I know. 4 is the best one though. Happy 12 years.
Yeah, Kelly, if you're listening.
I know she's listening. Hi, Kelly.
All right. So this was a great show. I really enjoyed this conversation, both
Yeah.
with, of course, Horror Nights. Love talking about that, but like getting to know more about you and your photography and Flynn Rider's nose. Oh, I can't believe I didn't ask this question. Why Flynn Rider's nose?
Oh, Flynn Rider's nose. Okay. I wanted something funny, and me and my friend Rachel, we were trying to think of funny, unique names because I was a Peter Pan girly
Mm.
when I was younger, so I was gonna do the Flying Frying Pan. But it was taken by some fitness account.
Seriously?
Yes. I was like, who needs this name? I thought that was pretty clever.
And that is exactly what I need for fitness.
No, exactly, right?
Wild.
I don't remember how we settled on Flynn Rider's nose, but I think it's so iconic.
It is.
I've wanted to change it a lot over the past few years, like when I wasn't doing Disney stuff.
Yeah.
And then all my friends were like, you can't. Like, Flynn Rider's nose is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny. So
watching Tangled, and then you just like notice that Flynn Rider has a different nose.
all the jokes about his nose throughout the whole movie.
Oh, I'm a fake Tangled fan then.
Adam,
I've been outed as a fake.
Yeah, on every poster, every wanted poster of him, he has a different nose, and he's like, they can't get my nose right.
Oh, that's right.
I can get his nose right because I'm Flynn Rider's nose.
That's right. Oh, okay. Yep. Wow. Okay. Sorry. So before we focus more on my failures, this is like up there, like putting Deadman's Pier as number 6.
Yeah. Hello.
What is as we wrap up, like what is some like last minute quick advice, or not quick, it's up to you. But what's some like last minute advice or words to folks who are thinking about getting into photography at the parks?
Just do it. Don't really listen to what other people say. You know yourself and you know what you like, and if you want to start it, just do it. Don't compare yourself, even though it's kind of hard not to. And just have fun with it. Don't get too in your head. It's fun. It's not that difficult. Just think about it that way. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, start ugly.
Yeah, everyone starts somewhere. You don't start like taking incredible, like clear, beautiful, amazing, intricate pictures. Mine was just a really bad picture of Aurora. Still on my account.
Really?
Yeah, if you scroll to the bottom of my account, you can see.
You should do a comparison of all 6 years.
Oh, I do. I looked at it all the time. I want to recreate it this year for 6 years.
Nice. You should. Sure. I like the post. I mean, I always do, but like,
I'll like it. In September, I'll like it.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend in September, find me at Epcot.
Yeah. Thank you for this conversation.
Of course, it was fun.
Talking to you like you're a guest. I mean, you are a guest, but you're also like
no, literally
a core part of the show.
It's an interview.
Yeah, but you can follow the show at Theme Park Workshop on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter at Workshop TP, which, fun fact, Bella runs.
I do. Come say hi to me.
Yes. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. You can also follow us on join our Patreon, rather, at patreon.com/Theme Park Workshop. We've got bonus episodes. We got special announcements, $5 tier, $2 tier, $1 tier. Go check them out at patreon.com/Theme Park Workshop. Oh, and our TikTok. Kelly would kill me if I didn't mention our TikTok.
Kelly is killing the game on TikTok, everybody.
She is, and that's at Theme Park Workshop on TikTok. You can follow me at AdamJ_film on Twitter. You can follow me at Adam Johnson Loves Stories on Instagram. And of course, I'm going to be here on the show. And Bella, I mean, we've had an whole episode about it, but where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Flynn Rider's Nose. And then over on Twitter at the Theme Park Workshop Twitter, or at my own, which is Bella Harvey with 2 Ys.
Yes. And we are doing a new Creative Spotlight segment on the show, but Bella called out a whole bunch of people on here, so check the show notes to go follow them.
Willie the Artist, the Frying Pan Prince. Who else can I think of? David Takes Disney.
If you think of any, let me know. I'll throw them in the doobly-doo. That's a Warner Brothers reference. The description below.
Oh my god.
And we'll see you next week with Kelly and Bella.
Bye, everybody.
Boy.
Goodbye.